team like Kyrie and KD. Or the Lake Show with King James and AD. Wish I could match him up with the bad boys from the 80s. But no black and white, I need that in HD. Hand dogs.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Ant Hen here, and here's another video for y'all. I feel like a lot of y'all, y'all know that I hoop, but y'all don't really know my background, my journey, like what kind of got me to where I am, what got me to play Division I, what made me be able to play professionally after that. So I think y'all already seen the title. So for this video, I'm gonna kind of go through my D1 journey. I see a lot of people doing these videos. I think it's kind of dope. It's kind of dope to like you know, what steps I made on my way up. You know, what things I could have did better, what things I think I did a good job on. And you know, it might help, you know, if you guys are in high school on your way up. I think this would be a good video for y'all to kind of see what it takes, you know, to go D1 and to kind of live that D1 lifestyle, and like kind of what I did to make sure that I will be a part of that. So if you're not subscribed to the channel right now, and subscribe to my other channel too. It's doing pretty good right now, so you know, subscribe to that channel and subscribe to my personal channel. So I'm gonna go all the way from elementary all the way to today. So this video might be a little long, so bear with me. I think it'll be good though. I think it's gonna be good for everybody to try to kind of see what my basketball journey was, and the kind of the cool things, the not so cool things that I went through. And I don't know, you might be interested in my story. You never know. So put in the comments too, like what else y'all want me to talk about, because I'm sure I'm gonna miss something. Like I want Debo to come out here and help me out just in case I forget something, but he not here right now. So eventually, hopefully by the end of this video, he pull up. But yeah, I think it'd be dope to just go from 4 years old all the way to 28. I'm 28 now, so 24 years of basketball and my journey up until where I'm at now. I'm gonna go through a few interviews. What's crazy is a lot of these interviews I'm gonna show in this video, I've never really watched before. So I'm one of them type of people, like, I don't really like listening to myself on video. I feel like my voice is way different on video than it is in person. So after I do an interview, I'll probably never listen to that interview again. So these interviews that I'm gonna watch and I'm gonna put in this video is videos or interviews that I've watched. This is my first time watching them, so I'm gonna be watching them with y'all for the first time. So it should be kind of fun. I'm sure that my interviews was terrible. Like these is interviews when I was like 17, 19, like young age. I didn't really have nothing to talk about, so I think it's gonna be kind of fun and probably a little embarrassing though to go through these interviews, but I think it'll be fun, man. So first, where I first started playing basketball at. I think I started playing basketball when I was like 5 or 6 years old. Couldn't dribble, couldn't do much of nothing. Like honestly, I think I went to play basketball because my dad forced me to play. Like I was one of them guys growing up. I was a football guy. Like I love playing football. Like I would be running through the house, you know, with the football. Like basketball was kind of that sport you just play because it's like, why not? Why not play it? But my first passion was football. Ask anybody that know me, like on that football field. Again, this is Toledo, Ohio. I'm from Toledo, Ohio. Like maybe 30 minutes from Detroit. Yeah, it's right on the border of Michigan and Ohio. So that's where I grew up at. AAU. Shout out to Team Toledo, man. If you ever play for Team Toledo, you my dog for life. Like we locked for life. Like Team Toledo was that AAU program growing up that it was like a bunch of Toledo guys, and we all came from nothing. Like we wasn't really like super known nationally, but we was just a bunch of Toledo kids who really didn't care.
Jimmy Jackson has been helping kids for what seems like forever, whether it be through his camps or with traveling basketball teams. In fact, he has a team playing right now in Florida. Now, a few years ago, some of the 7th graders on Jackson's team, Toledo, are very familiar now to local basketball fans. You have Aaron Kraft, who started at Liberty Benton and is now in Columbus, readying for his freshman year with the Buckeyes. Then, right beside him, as you'll see, you have Anthony Henderson from Start, who's about to begin his college career at Bowling Green. By the way, Jay Springs from St. John's and E.J. Tucker from Rogers were also on that team.
I mean, it says a lot about them, their family, but Northwest Ohio basketball. Even Zach Hilton that played at St. John's, he played for Team Toledo. Brian Roberts played for Team Toledo. I mean, it's a great mixture of young men who have played at one time for our team and now going to bigger and better things, and it's just a testament to them, and I think also our coaches.
And I would never forget this tournament. It was in Columbus, Ohio. We were in 6th grade. It was our first big tournament. Like we never played in any of these tournaments before, and this is the first time I ever seen one of those ranking books. Like, you know, it was the top teams, top players in the state, blah 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 blah. So I'm looking in here like the first day of the tournament, and you know, obviously we're nowhere to be found. Like no one even knows us. Like this is literally one of our first tournaments in one of these things. So I'm looking in the book. It's like Columbus Jaguars #1, All Ohio #2, All Ohio Black number 3. Like it was just looking at the list, and I'm like, okay, these some pretty good teams, and all these teams are in this tournament too. That's what's crazy. So, sure enough, man, we met up against every single team in that book. And when I tell you we went to that tournament and killed everybody, and everybody like, this team Toledo, like who is this? Like we went to the championship, like beat every ranked team and won the championship. And before you know it, the next book that came out, we was ranked #1. And that kind of just went to show me right there that rankings don't mean nothing. Like you still have to play. Like you can be the #1 ranked player and get exposed. Like just cause you rank don't mean that you just solidified, that you just got something guaranteed on the court. Like if anything, that's gonna be tougher because everybody is giving you your best shot. That's a tournament that I will never forget. Shout out to all the players on that team. Freshman year of high school, man. Like shout out to Start High School, Roy C. Start. You know, that's the high school I went to, man. That's where I graduated from. That's really all I know as far as high schools. And I really wasn't even supposed to go there. I think we ended up moving maybe 2 or 3 years before I went to high school. So because of that, I ended up going there. But I really wasn't supposed to go there. I was supposed to go to Bowsher, but ended up going to Start anyways. But shout out to Start. Mind you, before my freshman year of high school, I think I may only have lost one football game ever. Like one game ever. And maybe 5 years leading up to high school. So I get to Start. Start is not really known for sports, honestly. It was just kind of that school that I lived maybe 5 minutes from it. So it was like, hey, you're going to Start. So I'm like, all right, let's go to Start. Play freshman basketball, freshman football, and that's just kind of what it is. Like I went in my freshman year probably like 5'6", 130. Like I was tiny. I was tiny. The end of my freshman year football season, we was 1-8, and like I said, I've never lost more than one game total in 5 years. In my freshman year of football, we go 1-8. The last game of my freshman year of football, we played against the Clay Eagles. I go on a fly route. He throws the ball high like this, you know, throw it up high. So I jump to catch it. Out of nowhere, wow! When I tell y'all, I couldn't breathe for like 30 seconds. It's hard to getting the wind knocked out of you. Like sometimes you might think that your ribs is broke, but it's really just the wind knocked out of you. But it feels so much worse than what it really is. But yeah, that happened to me my last game of my freshman year. So I'm starting to put 2 and 2 together, man. We're 1-9. Like, okay, you know, what would be better for me career-wise? I started getting letters in basketball. Like, wait, these are actual letters to colleges? Like this is dope. So freshman year go by, I'm doing my thing. I played JV my freshman year and dressed for varsity. Yeah, I was just getting taller, getting bigger, getting better by the day. And that's one thing I always say, like as a high schooler, like freshman year, like that's one of the most important years. Like especially like if you're trying to go to college. I don't really want to say this, but it's true. Like middle school don't really matter. Like it's kind of irrelevant. But that first day of your freshman year of high school is when the clock starts counting, and that's when it counts. Like as far as grades, as far as putting in the work, like that freshman year gonna be a big jump start, you know, to what you want to do in the future. So if you're watching this in your freshman year, like don't think like I'm 14, I got a lot of time, like, you know, I'm young. Like you are young, but trust me, it goes like that. It's gonna be another freshman that's working, and you're gonna be right behind him. Freshman summer to go to my sophomore year might have been my biggest jump. That was when I started dunking. You know, I started dunking consistently. Like that's when I feel like I started getting a little bit taller. I think I got to about 5'10", 5'11" around that time. And I started playing for the Ohio Gators. Ohio Gators was the kind of like the team Toledo was kind of my childhood AAU team. That was the team that I grew up with, all my guys that we kind of like built a foundation type. Ohio Gators was kind of that big boy basketball that I like transformed into, because there was no more team Toledo once I got to high school. So it was the Gators now. So like I said, I think that was my biggest jump. Like I think I I think I became a really good basketball player. Did my thing for that summer, and sophomore year of high school, you know, I was on varsity. I was starting shooting guard for the varsity team, and played with pretty much all seniors. So it was a little bit tough on my end because it was all seniors and then one sophomore. He's a sophomore, so he'll be good. Like, this our do or die time, so we got to take these shots. So that was kind of what I dealt with my sophomore year. But I feel like everybody knew that, you know, I was the up and coming guy. I might have been second or third on the team in scoring my sophomore year, but averaged about 16 points. And we did all right. We didn't do that good, but that was kind of that year where it was like, all right, you might be kind of good. And it's this one story that I will never ever forget. Like, I told WB I was gonna send him this after I said it, because it's a story that will stick with me forever. Yeah, it was my sophomore year, and again, I'm maybe 5'10", 140, 130, like small guy. Like, basketball isn't this thing that I was just born to be great at. Like, it really didn't happen like that. It was like kind of like a switch that was like, oh wait, I think you might be good in basketball. And this is kind of that switch for me. Playing against the #1 team in the state, Toledo Libby. It's not even a school no more, but my sophomore year, they were the #1 team in the state. They had maybe 6, 7 D1 guys. They had a McDonald's All-American, William Buford. Like, he was the guy in Toledo. Like, this is the person that, when you thought about basketball at this time, like, he was Mr. Toledo. He got Mr. Basketball all of Ohio this year. So it's like having to play against McDonald's All-Americans and all these D1 athletes. It's like, all right, like, this is serious, bro. Like, you're 16, these are all grown men. These are 18-year-olds all going to college next year. Like you got to bring your A game. So we playing, you know, it started the game. WB get off to a great start. He going stupid on us, man. He going stupid. I think he even did like a rock the cradle dunk on us. He was going wild. But sure enough, I was hitting all my shots. Like, I probably was like maybe 7 for 7 in the first half, like something crazy. Like, I ended the game with 26 points. Like, I'll never forget that. That was my career high at this point. That made it so crazy is I think I might have hit maybe 4 shots in a row in the first half, and out of nowhere, I just see WB like just scream to his team like, "Hey y'all, I got it." I'm like, what? Like, why me? I didn't even know WB knew my name. Like, I didn't even know he even knew who I was. He's like, "No, I got Ant, man. I got Ant." I'm like, damn, like, this shit is real. It's real. I think I might have even scored on him a couple more times during the game. Like, they killed us. They beat us by maybe like 20. It was like 101 to 70 something. Like, they killed us. But like, after that game, I got so much love. And like, everybody was coming up to me like, "Man, you did Libby crazy. Like, you did all them D1 players. You did WB back." WB had like 30. He had 30. He did what he was supposed to do, but it was like this young sophomore that's barely $150 just went out and gave the #1 team in the state 25 points. Like, that's a big deal. And at the point in time, it really wasn't a big deal to me. Like, I really didn't even really register in my head until all these people came up to me like, "Bro, like, you next, bro. Like, you the future. You the future." And I think ever since that day, I've never been on a court where I felt like I didn't belong. Like, I could be on the court with anybody and I feel like I belong. And I think it had a lot to do with that exact game. So sophomore year ends, junior year, you know, I'm pretty much the #1 guy. Like, the 2 guys that probably took more shots than me that year were seniors, so they're gone. We did pretty good. This is probably my best like season record-wise. I think maybe we went like 15-6. Like, I'm good for start. Again, start is not a basketball school, so that's pretty good for start. Well, 15-6. I averaged maybe like 23 this year, 24 this year. Led the city in scoring my junior year. I give a lot of credit to the Ohio Gators. Every summer I would play, and I would get better for the school seasons, for the school year. So it would be Ohio Gators summer, then start during the winter. At this point, I'm getting a lot of letters now, a lot of basketball letters. You know, I'm getting letters from pretty much any MAC school you can think of, A10 schools. Like, I was getting letters from a lot of like mid-major schools. Like, it was a few high majors here and there that I would get letters from, but pretty much mostly mid-majors. That was where I was getting most of my letters from. But at this time, none of them were offering me scholarships though. Like, it was just a lot of just letters. We're interested. Fill out this questionnaire. We want you to come on an unofficial visit. Like, I think my first unofficial visit was like Central Michigan or something like that. No like serious, like, we want you to come play for us type letters at this point. Junior summer, going to senior year, another great year. Ohio Gators, another great year. We played against the best of the best at this point. So A lot of schools are coming. A lot of schools are coming to my games, you know, calling me. Again, no offers. No offers. I think this is the craziest part. No one's offering me any scholarships. It's just straight, just we're interested. We like what you got going on. We love your game. Like, we want to come see more of you, blah, blah, blah. So, all right, it's whatever. It's whatever. We had one of the best teams in the state. Like, we gave everybody a run for their money. Ohio Gators did. My, what was that, 17 and under years? Like, so many. I always tell people, like, I got most of my looks from AAU. Like a lot of people think like you can just get straight looks off of just playing just straight winter ball, which maybe you can now because of social media, but back when I was playing, like, I got all my looks from AAU, and then they came and watched me because of AAU, and that was kind of like the confirmation to be like, okay, yeah, he's good. I think that 17 and under Ohio Gators year, going into my senior year of high school, was where I got like a lot of the offers from, really. But yeah, so still no offers though. No offers came until my actual senior season. Maybe like 2-3 games into my senior season, and Ball State. Shout out to Ball State, man. They were in the MAC. I played against them twice a year when I went to Bowling Green. They were like that #1 school that offered me. And it's weird because the day that Ball State offered me, Bowling Green called me the next day. Toledo called me the next day after that. Buffalo called me the following day, all offering me scholarships. So it took.
It's like a domino effect.
Yeah, it was like a domino effect. Like it took for one of them to offer me for like, I went like maybe 7-8 straight days with a school calling me, offering me a scholarship. And I'm just like, did they have to talk to each other? Like, what? Why did it take for one to offer me for the rest of y'all to offer me? But hey, I mean, it was dope to me. I only went on 3 visits. I should have went on more. So if you're watching this video and you got scholarship offers, take every visit. Like, you're not even thinking about going to that school. Take the visit. It's free. Like, everything is free. For you into signing or committing, you don't gotta do none of that. Just take the visit and just enjoy all the free stuff that every school got to offer. Trust me. That's one of my biggest regrets. I was turning down. I'm like, I'm not about to go to Northeastern. Northeastern wanted me to come to Boston and come on an official visit. And I was like, why would I go on a visit there if I'm not going there? But it's like, why not go on a free trip to Boston? Like, looking back on it, it's like, why not? So again, if you are in high school and you're getting visits or getting official visits, take every single one. I haven't watched this video in like 7 years, y'all. This video is so old. But this was like before I signed.
Most of the area's top high school basketball players have already signed with their future colleges, except for the area's top scorer. Sturt High School's Anthony Henderson averaged over 28 points a game, and his college coaches were checking him out this afternoon. So were we.
Coach Orr, that was my coach.
Yesterday, then
my coach at BG. That was my high school coach right
coaches
there.
from Bowling Green and James Madison.
They're here
James
most of the
Madison.
time, but it's pretty neat, but then again, I know I gotta play hard every single time because there's somebody's watching me all the time.
Watching to see how this top scorer can become a top distributor at the next level. Anthony's being recruited as a point guard, and he tells us he's working especially hard on his ball handling. At least 5 MAC schools have offered him a basketball scholarship, but right now he does have his favorites.
The 3 schools I have to say that's really at the top right now is Bowling Green, Toledo, Miami of Ohio.
What's interesting about that list is obviously Toledo. Gene Cross already offered him a scholarship, and when Todd Kowalczyk replaced Cross, the scholarship remained on the table.
He's reached out a lot to me. He seemed like a pretty nice guy. I really think that he's going to change that program a lot around.
Change that program a lot around.
He really be able to do it.
It helps that Anthony's former high school teammate Devin Russell gave him a tour of UT this past weekend, but the bigger factor will be playing nearby.
I don't really want to go too far from home, but I do want to get away a little bit.
At the end of the week, Anthony plays in the second of 2 All-Star games, and at the end of this month, Anthony will visit the Miami of Ohio campus. He says expect a decision shortly thereafter.
That was like my first interview ever, I think. Terrible interview, but it's kind of funny to look back on that. That was what, 10 years ago? That's crazy, y'all. That was 10 years ago. But yeah, that was like my discussing college prospects video. I'm gonna put that link in the description too. Senior year, started getting a bunch of letters, starting to get a bunch of offers and everything. And at this time, I'm playing the best that you could think of. Like, pretty much scoring 30 every game. Like, every game kind of meant a lot to me because it's like, hey, like, I got college coaches like believing in my game. Like, that should tell me a lot about myself. I actually didn't commit until after the season, like after my senior year. So it was kind of like, where do I want to go? I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like, I've never told anybody this, especially never on camera, but I probably would have went to Toledo if Gene Cross would have stayed there. The crazy story about this is, so Coach Cross, he was the coach at UT, you know, all while I'm in high school or whatever. Like, he's the one calling me, like, you know, I really want you to come to Toledo. Like, you'll be the face of it. You'll be the face of Toledo. Like, this is your city. Like, you'll be the face of the program. You'll have all the, you know, all the billboards, like everything around the city. And it's like, that sounds dope. Like, that's like, why wouldn't I want that? Mind you, my senior year, Toledo might have been like 4-20 something. Like they were bad. They didn't have a good record. But Gene Cross is like, he's a good dude. Like, he was like, you know, I'm gonna change this around. You're gonna be part of this. Just turn around. Like, you know, I'm gonna be here. Like, this is what he's telling me. Like, I'm gonna be here. I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'll be your coach next year if you commit right now. So I'm like, you know what? Let me hold off. Let me not commit right now. I kind of want to see what's going on. And literally the next day after he told me that, all over the news, Gene Cross has been fired. And it's like, what? You just told me yesterday that you was gonna be there. Which, I mean, it's part of the game, but it's like, it's a wrap. I'm not going to Toledo. Like, I don't even know who the new coach is gonna be. Like, Coach K, Toledo coach. He gets hired maybe 3-4 days later after Gene Cross gets fired. And I'm looking at him like, okay, he seems like a good coach. He came from, I think, Wisconsin, Green Bay or something like that. One of those schools over there, but great coach. Sure enough, the day that he gets hired, I get a phone call from a Wisconsin number. I'm like, hello? This is Coach K, the new coach at Toledo. How are you? He like, I just want to let you know, like, I was at my first dinner in Toledo, and while I was checking out, someone wrote your name on a piece of paper and told me to make sure that I found you and make sure that I kept your scholarship on the table. I'm like, wait, what? That's crazy. He's like, so what I'm gonna do is I want to come to your next open gym, and I want to see if the hype is real. And if the hype is real, you know, we'll talk about what happens next. I'm like, all right. So sure enough, maybe the next couple days, we had an open gym at Start. He came. I did what I had to do, and you know, after the open gym, he was like, I just want to let you know the scholarship is still on the table. Still want you, even though Gene Cross is not here anymore. He offers you the scholarship. We're still offering you that scholarship, and that was big. That was big for me because it's like someone like, to this day, I still don't know who wrote my name on a piece of paper, but like the fact that somebody wrote my name and gave it to him, and not only did he see the name, he still was like, I'm gonna call this guy and go see him, and still was able to be like, yeah, like I like this guy, but. I ended up choosing the opposition. I ended up going to Bowling Green, which is the school down the road, like 30 minutes from Toledo. It's like the rivalry school. And I mean, I'm proud of my decision. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm proud of where I went, what I did at my school. Like, a lot of people always ask me, like, why didn't you go to Toledo? Like, why didn't you? And that's the reason why. Because right after Coach K, you know, still offered me, I went on an official visit. And I was showing him around the school. Like, he didn't even know where the union was, where the library was. Like, I was basically showing him around the campus. So it really wasn't that, I didn't get that connection that I feel like I should have gotten from a college coach on a visit. But it wasn't his fault. He was only there for a week, like 2 weeks max. So like, he didn't even know much about the school. But I signed to BG. I signed to Bowling Green. And Coach Hop was the assistant coach. He's from Toledo. He's arguably the best basketball player ever out of my city. So it was like, he's an assistant coach. He's vouching for me to come here. So it's like, why not? Like, why wouldn't I go there? Like, it's perfect for me. So this is a video of me signing there, and yeah, this is it.
Anthony Henderson has made it official. The starting guard will play college hoops next year for Bowling Green State University. Henderson signed his letter of intent this afternoon over at Start High School. This is a great pickup for the Falcons. Henderson set the Spartan record, scored more than 1,300 points in his career, earning All-City, All-District, and All-State honors along the way. Anthony, we'll start with you. You've got your BG shirt on, your BG colors. What made you choose Bowling Green?
The coaching staff, I really enjoyed that coaching staff. That coaching staff really made me realize that BG was the right place.
I just said coaching staff like 3 times.
If I go to BG, they would make me a good person on and off the court.
Yeah, that was a little quick interview. That was terrible. Again, I think my interviews got a lot better over time. Before this video is over, we're gonna watch an interview of me in college too. So just kind of see the progression between the interviews. Hopefully, I got better. I don't know, maybe not. Freshman year, got redshirted my freshman year. Like, this was probably the toughest thing for me at that point that I had to go through in basketball. Kind of like, what do you mean y'all don't want me to play for a whole season? Like what? Like, what I'm supposed to do? How do I not play in a game with referees for a whole year? Like, that's a long time. But all in all, like, that was probably one of the best decisions I made. Like, I graduated high school at 17, so I was already a little bit young. Like, I could have went to prep school, I could have did that, but I decided not to. So getting that redshirt year, I think, was great for me. Like, it was great. It helped me out a lot. Like, it gave me that extra year that I feel like I needed to bulk up, smarten up, like everything. Redshirt freshman year, I played all right. I got spotty minutes. I didn't play that much. I was probably like maybe third on the depth chart as shooting guards. So I would play if someone got into foul trouble or if something happened where I had to play spotty minutes or anything like that. So freshman year of college at D1, we played against Michigan State. Like, I was out there guarding Draymond Green a couple times. It was kind of a big, like, okay, this is big boy ball now. Like, it's no more little boy basketball. My redshirt sophomore year was the year that I started playing a lot. And what got me on the floor was defense. It was defense. Like, everybody that I played against, everybody that was on my team, everybody could score the ball, could play basketball. Like, it really wasn't a matter of can you score. Like, we all can score. We're all at D1 for a reason. But what else can you do to get you on the floor? And that, for me, I have long arms. I'm pretty athletic. Like, all I have to do is work hard, be disciplined and work hard, and I feel like I can be a great defender. It was one thing that I was like, all right, I'm about to become a defender. Like, this is what I need to do to get on the floor, and it worked. I could always shoot. Like, it really wasn't a thing. Like, if I get out there and not score the ball, could I not make the open shot? Because I could always do that. Like, that was nothing. But what will make me valuable to my team? And it was defense. So any young kids watching this right now, something that you cannot ever teach on the court is working hard. Like, you're not going to always be able to get that crossover off. Like, you're not going to always be shooting good. It's not going to happen. Like, it's part of basketball to not shoot good. It's part of basketball to turn the ball over. Every single game, you can commit to that. Like, if it's one thing that you can commit to every game, is working your butt off. Like, and everything else should work out for itself. That's one thing that I noticed in college was if I work hard and I stay disciplined, I should be all right. Like, this should, everything else is going to come easy to me. Like, that's the stuff that I could do to help my team win. The junior year, this is like my first year where the team kind of depended on me to score at the D1 level, and that's pretty big. If a team is dependent on you to score night in and night out on the D1 level, like, you got to be in the gym. You have to be working. You got to be ready. Like, you got to be ready. So again, we had a pretty good season, but it wasn't great. We didn't win the MAC championship. We didn't go to the tournament, and because of that, Coach Orr got fired. It was, they felt it was time for somebody else to step in and take us somewhere that we've never been, which I'm all for. Like I said, Coach Orr was by far one of the greatest men I've ever been around. But I can't argue if they want to bring somebody in that feel like they can take us to the MAC championship. I couldn't be mad, especially for my senior season, like, because that in the long run that could help me out. So it is what it is. So Coach Jans came in, and when I say Coach Jans is one of a kind, he's one of a kind, man. Like, he's one of those coaches that you would never in a million years go into this practice halfway. And I ain't gonna lie, it was tough at first. It was real tough because it's not what we was used to. We were used to Coach Orr. If he cussed at you, he would apologize. Coach Jans would cuss at you and cuss at you again if you don't respond right. Like it was completely different. So it was a wake up call, and it was just like first day of practice, Coach Jans came in and everybody looking around like we didn't sign up for this. Looking back on it, like, it's safe to say if we would have bought in early, we probably would have ended up winning more than what we actually won. We knew that he came from a great background. He knew what he was talking about. But still, it was like, you don't even know us. How you come in here and just cuss us out on the first day? Like, I don't even know if you're right. Like, we don't know. Like, and I think that's what held us back. We were fighting for so long. But then, like, towards the middle of the season, it was kind of like, wait, what? These plays that Jans is running for us, like, what he expects from us works. Like, it worked. Like, as we can see, we've never won this many games. What he's saying works. But by that time, it was kind of like, I don't want to say too late, but I wish we would have bought in earlier. Like I always say, if I would have had Coach Jans another year, I would have easily won a MAC championship. I would have been sitting here with a ring on my hand. But it was a super fun year, man. Like, even though, like I said, Coach Jens was on us like crazy. Like, I've never had anybody on me like that before. I still would say that was probably my best year, like individually and collectively. Like, as far as just how I felt on the court. Coach Jens basically told us that this is where we belong, this is where we need to be. He put us on this pedestal that we didn't even know that we could be on. And I thank him to this day for that. Like, he didn't accept average. Anybody that was in his way that tried to stop him from that, it was a clash. Like, it wouldn't work. This video I'm about to show y'all now, senior year interview. Like I said, y'all seen my 2 high school interviews. Now this is fast forward 4 years later to my senior year. We played against Chicago State. Shout out to Anthony Glover. He's from Toledo. He was a freshman in this game. I was a senior in this game. I'm telling y'all that because that's the kind of question they asked me about another guy from Toledo I played against, blah, blah, blah. So let me know what y'all think, if my interviews got better from high school to college or if they kind of stayed the same.
Did you ever played against Glover in high school? You're too far apart, aren't you?
Yeah. I think he was in 8th grade when I was a senior, but I mean, I've been watching when I was in college. I've been watching him grow up.
Hear me.
He's a great player.
Was there any thought about, hey, you know, we've got another Toledo guy on the floor, gotta show a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always good to see Toledo, like,
Speak
Toledo
up.
kids playing against each other. Like, it's always good just to see that, but at the same time, I mean, it's a competitive edge.
No,
where you
facts.
really
Especially
want
as a freshman, too.
Anything on you, so it was all fun.
Yeah, especially got fun when you started making the threes, I assume. I mean, can you just, it seems to be there are times where you get in that zone and once you make the first, it starts opening shots up for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's like shooting the ball.
Coaches do a great job of giving us confidence, making sure that we take shots. And basically they told us, like, if we turn off shots, that's basically a turnover. So
I didn't get no
they
better.
do a good job of keeping confidence in us and making sure we get a lot of shots up in practice to do that. So they do a great job for us.
And can you talk a little bit about your personal confidence once that first
I know
one goes
something about getting in the
just
gym.
the emotion there?
Yeah, it's always good to get that first one down. I mean, when you get that first one down, the next one just seems a lot easier, and then the rim just like it start getting bigger and bigger. And we had some great plays on their zone.
Yeah, I'm trying to coach
they
his
switched
zone.
the zone a lot, so coach did a great job of designing plays for us to get open shots.
And it seems to me that that's a challenge you guys are going to face. I mean, not every day in the MAC, but a fair amount. Guys are going to want, or other teams are going to want you to make shots from the outside.
gym.
That's the challenge, isn't it?
It is, and that's why we have to make sure we stay in the gym every time, not get satisfied with
Like I
this
said,
game,
I
make sure
haven't
we
watched
stay in
this
the
in
gym,
like
keep shooting
4 years,
teams
at
do
least.
plays on against us, we're ready for it.
Defensively, how much does Coach stress defense since you guys got back from Christmas break?
Yeah, he stresses that more than anything. I feel like that was the biggest thing for this game. Like, we defended very, very well. Like, we didn't really score as many points as we probably normally do, but we shut them down on the defensive end. I think that's what sparked our offense a little bit.
Where'd that come from? I mean, he talked about the on-ball defense. You guys
All them drills we used to do.
take it
Yeah,
personally.
all type of
that maybe
defensive
called you out
drills.
ways?
Yeah, I would just say because, I mean, we had a bad taste in our mouth from the last home game, and we didn't want to repeat that at
I
all.
don't know
So
who we lost to.
I feel like everybody came in this game with the right mindset of not letting them do what they wanted to do. And it showed.
Anthony, Coach mentioned about how he's going to look to you guys, your seniors and veterans that have played a MAC play for a lot of help because the staff hasn't, been to any MAC games or played any MAC arenas. How do you kind of feel you and Javon and Rashawn can help lead this team and as you guys head into MAC play?
I think we can lead them a lot. I mean, we've seen these teams for the last 4 years, so
I've seen them forever,
it's
yo.
going to be a challenge because the MAC is a great conference. So I think we're ready for it.
Thank you, sir.
That was an interview from my senior year. Yeah, let me know if I got better in my interviews from freshman year. Rewind it, go back to those high school ones, and then go back to that one. And let me know what y'all thought. If I got better, if I got worse, if I got stayed the same, whatever. I'm sure I got more interviews on YouTube, so I'm gonna put this one in the description and probably put some more in there too if y'all want to look at some of my old other interviews and just laugh at me and see how terrible I was at talking. But first 20-win season, I think maybe like last 10 years or something. We did our thing that year, so it was cool to go out like that. But I wish we could have got a ring or something. We could have did more than what we did. But all in all, I was pretty happy with my senior season the way it ended. So now I think I'm gonna just kind of talk about what I went through in college and what I would suggest for anybody that was in my same shoes that's going to college or in college right now. One thing that hasn't changed is you have to have grades to go to college. Like, that's the one thing that I don't think will ever change. You have to have good grades. And it's not hard. Like, it's not hard to get, good enough grades to be able to go anywhere you want to in the college. You know how many times I've seen people like not be able to qualify? It makes no sense to me. Like, if you believe in yourself on the court, then you should believe in yourself in the classroom too. Like, they work hand in hand. Like, if you have one, you should have the other. So that's one thing I'm gonna say off the rip. Starting freshman year of high school, like, that's the one thing that you should be taking care of. If you have the talent, then the grades shouldn't be an issue. Like, that should be the easy part. Is getting the grades good enough to go to any college that you're capable of. So grades. Your grades from your freshman year counts. Like, college coaches are gonna be looking at those grades. Like, that stuff counts. So starting from freshman year, fall semester, like, that counts. So just get it in, man. Get the help you need, like, and just know, like, you can be LeBron James. You can have that type of talent, and nobody will ever know because you couldn't pass a math class or you couldn't pass an English class. Like, that's what determines the professional athletes from the people that say that they could have been professional athletes. Like, another thing is, like, don't have to go Division I in order to be a successful athlete. You know how many times I've seen people like felt like if they didn't go D1, then it wasn't worth it. Like that's a terrible mentality. Like, there's people that went D2, D3, NAIA. Duncan Robinson, granted, he ended up going to Michigan and playing D1, but he started at D3. Like, there's so many people that started at JUCOs and you started at D2s that eventually, put in the work and got to where they needed to be. Like, if you have the talent, like, you're going to get seen no matter where you at. Like, go to the program that fits you. Go to the program that really wants you for, like, who you are as an athlete, as a person. Like, don't just go to the biggest school you got just because you feel like people are going to respect you. Because at the end of the day, if you sit in the bench, it doesn't matter. Go to the school that fits you, whether it's D1, D2, D3, like, whatever. Like, just go to the school that wants you the most. I mean, once you get to school, I would say, man, get into any programs you can get into. Like, I could have used Bowling Green more than what I used them for. Like, it was so many different, programs and tutors and just so many network opportunities that you have at college that as an athlete, you don't really want to be a part of because you're so tired. You're thinking about just straight practice and homework. That's all you think about. You don't really think about anything else. Like, as an athlete, as anybody on campus, you should go to anything that a college has for you. Like, use the college. Like, they're taking a lot of money. Granted, I didn't have to pay for school, but my scholarship was worth, $200,000, $300,000. Like, that's a lot of money. So I should be using that campus as much as I can, but I didn't. And that's one thing that I would, suggest for every athlete to do is, like, use that campus as much as it's gonna use you. Last thing I'm gonna say is another thing that I regret. Like, again, this is something that I'm just like telling y'all so that y'all don't make the same mistakes I made. And if you want a full ride scholarship, actually get a degree that you can use. Like I said, use that university. Like, my mindset, like, the people that was kind of surrounded around the basketball like program was like, yeah, get these guys into like liberal studies, get them into these degrees to where the classes aren't that hard because we're gonna be traveling a lot, and get them to where we look good on our end. So, like, Bowling Green has a 3.0 GPA, like, blah blah blah, which is good. Don't get me wrong, that's good. But I'm telling you, use that time to get a degree that's worth a lot of money. Like, you can get who's to say you can't get on a full ride scholarship and go get a business degree or like something like a super dope degree. Like, they can't tell you no, you can't go towards that degree, but they are going to tell you, hey, I think you should take this degree because you're not going to be in school, you're going to be on the road a lot. Like, those classes might be a little tough for you. Like, of course they're going to be tough for you if you want a good degree. Use that university the way they use you. They use you for two-a-days, they use you to put people in the stands, they use you for ticket sales, they use you for all this stuff. So use them and get a great degree that you can use, once you get done with school. Don't get me wrong, getting a degree is great. Like, I thank Bowling Green, I thank everybody that offered me a scholarship to give me a degree. But I say this to say that. I've been through it. I understood what was going on. Like, I understood the whole process. Go do something that 10 years, once you get out of college, once you're done with that program, that you really could be like, all right, I went to college for free, and I left college with a degree that, you know, that most people pay $3,000, $400,000 for, that they need in order to get these certain jobs. So that would be the last thing that I would say, you know, is very, very important and something that I learned over time. So I think that's it, man. I don't really think I got much else to say. I think I've been rambling for like a good 30, 40 minutes. I think this is a good video though. It's kind of long, so if you're still listening right now, I appreciate you. Like, I know it's not too many people still watching right now, but if you is, I appreciate you. Write in the comments like if I missed anything. I'm sure I did. I'm sure there's something in here that y'all was waiting for me to talk about that I didn't talk about. And like I said, I'll probably make another video of this soon, but that's it, man. That's it. Peace out.